What's up, YouTube? Today I want to share with you guys a really cool way to deploy game servers on your NAS. A lot of people have been asking about game servers, and it's kind of been touch and go depending on which games you want, but Pterodactyl has been this really cool thing that allows people to launch tons and tons of games all at the same time. So by using eggs and just these really cool, easy installers. So we're going to use this really cool installation script here for Pterodactyl, and we're going to do this on Fangtooth. And the reason we're going to do this on Fangtooth is I'm going to show you guys how to create a brand new instance just like this for Pterodactyl. I'm just going to call this PTER. Tero, just like that. And we're going to use a Linux container, and we're going to use Ubuntu. And I'm going to show you guys right now how I could launch this very quickly. So I'm going to use the default of Noble. Just like that, I'm not going to touch anything else, and I'm going to click create because I already have a bridge created. So now it's already got my container up and running. I'm going to shell in, and I'm going to show you guys how simple this is. I'm just going to do one thing here. I'm doing an app install for curl because I need that for the script. So I'm just going to hit enter to install curl, and then I'm going to copy this from the installer script on the other page, and it's going to begin installing my script. So now it's going to say, hey, what do you want to install? I need both panel and wings, and this is of course how Pterodactyl works. Wings is the back end, panel is the front, so I'm going to hit 2 to install them both. And now I'm going to use default options for everything. So the default is always going to be in these parentheses. So when I just hit enter here, it's going to use the name panel and the name Pterodactyl and a randomly generated password. My time zone I'm going to change to America because I'm not in Europe, so I'm East Coast, just like that. I do not want to configure Let's Encrypt, so I'm just going to use fake data right now because this is just a test server, and I don't plan on exposing this to the internet. So all of the information and all the settings I'm going to do are going to be for a local version only, not one that's exposed to the entire internet. All right, so the username is, again, I'm going to use all default this fake information. So that's why you're seeing me just use admin. You guys can use your real information. Go, and I do not, so now you'll see here, for example, the options, YN, because N is capitalized, the default is going to be no. And of course, again, I don't want to configure firewall, and I don't want to use HTTPS because I'm not going to do this over the internet. I do not want to assume SSL, just like that. And now it's going to say continue with the installation. For some reason, this is defaulted to no. I do want to continue, so I'm going to hit yes. And now the script is going to start. So I'm going to jump back in here at random times throughout this video if the script stops me at all. But other than that, I'm just going to let it run. Okay, this is my first break in the script. It's asking me if I want to enable sending anonymous telemetry data. The default is yes. The answer to this is going to be an unequivocal no, I do not. So now I'm going to let the script continue, and we're going to jump back in, and then the next time I have to enter any values. Okay, so now it is asking me another question. Installation of the panel has been completed, which is great. Okay, do you want to proceed to continue the wings installation? Again, it's defaulting to N. I want to say yes, I do want to continue with this. Are you sure you want to proceed? In my case, yes, because I'm virtualizing this. It's giving me a big warning, but it's okay. Do I want to configure the firewall? No, I don't. I'm not going to configure a user for database hosts. No, I don't. It's fine. I don't care about Let's Encrypt because, again, we're not going over the internet. And yes, I do want to proceed with the installation. Okay, now we've gotten to the point where it says Wings installation complete. That's great. So I need to do a couple things here really quickly. So Wings isn't actually started yet, but the panel is started. So what we have to do is, first of all, I need to get the IP of this machine. This IP is going to be this right here, 1099.0.189. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to jump into 1099.0.189, just like that. And here we go. We're in panel. So I'm going to come over here and use my default credentials I just made, and we are in. So let's come over here to my settings over here. The first thing I need to do is set up a location. I'm going to create new, and again, I'm just going to call this location, I'm going to call this location home. Because again, this is all just test data. So now I can go over here and create a node, which is what I need to do. I need to create a new node. And this name is going to be, again, node 1. Because this is just test data, it's nothing fancy. Use HTTP connection. Again, we're not using any SSL because we're not going over the internet, so it does not matter. In my case, my node was node.example.com, and that does not matter. Okay, so now we got to just find some certain things here. So first thing I want to do, anything with a percentage, I always want to use 0%. It's going to ask me how much memory I want to give it. I'm going to give it, in this case, in my case, this node, I'll give it, say, 6,000 megabytes of memory. In my disk space, I'm going to give it say 10 gigs. So 10,000 megabytes. 1,000 megabytes is a gig. 10,000, that's 10 gigs. So I'm going to create this node just like that. Oh, never mind. My IP address in this case is going to be 10.99.0.189. That's my IP address. Now let's create this node. And I have to use HTTP connection, and now let's create. There we go. So that worked. Okay, so now we have a node. So now what we have to do is we have to go into our nodes, and now we have to click node 1, and we want to go to our configuration, and we're going to do this whole thing, for example. And we're going to do one more thing here. So we're going to come over here, and now we're going to do a apt install nano, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to, so notice where I'm at. My working directory is going to be etc Pterodactyl. So if you're not there, you want to go to cd etc Pterodactyl, like that. Okay, now I'm going to do a nano config.yml, just like that. I'm going to paste that whole block of text right here into my shell. I'm going to control X, then Y, then enter. There we go. So now I'm going to do a sudo wings, and this is what you need to do to get this up and running. There we go. This is good. This means everything is working. So in order to make this work even without me hitting that, I'm actually going to control C. I want to stop wings. I'm going to scroll back up here, and it says right here, once you have verified that it is working, in this case we did, we hit sudo wings and we have verified it is working, we're going to want to do this, sudo control start, like that. So I'm going to hit a control insert, and hit shift insert, and hit enter. There we go. Now I'm going to reboot this entire thing, and it's going to reboot. And I'm going to come back out here to instances, and I'm going to come back out to shell. There we go. And just to make sure everything is still working, I'm going to do a systemctl status of wings. There we go. This is great. Everything is green. That's what I want to say. I want to see nothing but green. So I'm going to hit Q to get out of that. Everything is working. Now we can come back out here and do a nice refresh. Now go to overview. Everything is now up and running. Note here, allocations. We have to give this an allocation. So this is going to be the IP we assigned, 10.99.0.189. The IP address is nothing. So we're going to do ports 40,000 to 40,000. Say 999. So that's going to give us 1,000 ports basically to work with, which is going to be more than we're ever going to need. So here's all my allocations. And the reason for that is basically every single time I launch a game server, it has to go to this address into an open port. So I just opened up all these ports. Now we're good. So now we can go to servers, and I can create a new server. Again, server 1. And now we can go ahead, and there we go. Those are our defaults. And if we need an additional allocation, we can come here like that. Okay, I'm leaving all this stuff default. I'm leaving everything here default. So again, CPU pinning, a single number, this example, 0, 1, 2, 3. So leave blank to allow all threads. Setting this 0 unlimited container, that's great. To space, okay. Say we stop 0 to allow unlimited, that's fine. I'm just going to keep an eye on things, make sure it's good. So now is when I can actually deploy a game server. So I'm going to deploy the server basically on port 40,000. If there's anything more this thing needs, it's going to go to 40,001. That's my additional allocation. So if you've got voice servers or anything in here, that's going to be the case. So I'm going to give it no limits to anything this here, no limits to anything here, and now I'm going to figure out my nest and configuration. So in this case, I'm going to deploy a Minecraft server. So I'm going for the Minecraft nest, and I'm going to do a vanilla Minecraft just like that. I'm going to leave everything else default, and now I'm going to go ahead and create server. Oh, sorry, owner ID is necessary. This is my owner ID. Admin. There we go. So admin is going to own this. So there we go. So now I can leave this just like it is and hit create server. And now the server is successfully created. And it's going to go ahead and do that thing. So now let's come back out here to my home. I'm going to click Pterodactyl. And here is server 1. It's installing right now. This is what it's doing. It's marked offline. So to actually get this going, I have to start it. And now it's going to begin to install all the things I need for vanilla Minecraft. It was that simple. So that was pretty amazing. So that just little thing right there shows us, yeah, we want to accept that. You're going to get that, and that's good. It's the first time. That shows things are working right. So now what this is basically doing is launching vanilla Minecraft in a Dockerized container inside my Pterodactyl. So Pterodactyl is right now running on an Ubuntu LXC inside Fangtooth, and that within that we have Pterodactyl wings and panel running Dockerized, and then we have the actual game itself running Dockerized. So this is a really cool way to get things going. You can see here it's doing all of its things. And now what I would do if I'm running Minecraft, for example, from my Minecraft actual game, is I'd point it at the IP and port of the server, 1099.0.189.40,000, this address right here, and it would connect and you guys could start playing Minecraft. So you can see here what it's doing. This is our CPU load, this is our memory, this is our network input output. And let's come back out here, let's go to our dashboard and we can see what it's doing here. For example, we can tell we're taking up about 3.1 gigs of memory right now. The CPU is basically idling. This is going very, very well. We can go ahead and go to our storage and see how we're doing. We've got plenty of space left. This is only a 40 gig virtualized drive, so we have barely even scratched the surface of even the meager amount of resources I've given this TrueNAS server. So here we go. Pterodactyl is marked as running. Our uptime is 1 minute. This is our CPU load. This is our memory. We got all sorts of resources here. We're up and going. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this just because I don't want this running in the background. And I'm gonna show you one more thing, and that's going to be eggs. So I'm going to show you guys this site. This is pterodactyleggs.com. This is really cool. So I can search here for anything. So I search, for example, Valheim. If I want to do that, you'll see there's a couple game servers here for Valheim. I'm just going to go ahead and click this first one, and I'm going to click get the JSON right there like that. So I'm going to save the file just like that, and I'm going to save it to my downloads, and I'm going to save right here. And now I'm going to go back to my server, and let's come back out to my admin. What we're going to want to do is create a new nest, and I'm going to call this nest1, new nest. I'm just going to call this new nest. You guys can call it whatever you guys want because my nest needs to have an egg. So now I'm going to come back out to nest, click nest, and I'm going to click import egg. So now I'm going to browse for the file I just downloaded all the way on top. There we go. The associated nest is going to be my new nest. I'm going to click import. There we go. Successfully imported its egg. Awesome. I'm not going to touch any of this stuff. Now I can come back up to nests, and then you can see my eggs now is listed as 1. So if I wanted to go to, for example, my servers and create a new server, I can come out here and I can go to my nest configuration, new nest, and you can see my Valheim egg is here. I'd be able to launch Valheim just that easily. This has been a pretty cool learning experience for me. I don't actually do a lot of gaming, but this is how I would do it if I wanted to create game servers. If I didn't create them individually, this is so simple. Eggs and nests, this whole concept is just very straightforward to me. Once we get up and going with the actual wings and panel, and we get our location and node up, launching a server is nothing more difficult than just creating new, picking a nest, picking an egg, and then just clicking start, pretty much with almost all default applications. So that's just very, very easy. I'm blown away with how simple this process was. I learned how to do this in probably less than 30 minutes. So that just shows you the amount of work that's gone into getting this up and running. And I think it's so cool that we can do this within TrueNAS, within an LXC like that. Because before we used to needed to launch big, heavy VMs that required lots and lots of resources. But the fact that we can do this in an LXC and just allow pretty much infinite resources, allow the containers to reach out to the host resources without having to pretty much lop off a section of resources, I think is amazing. This is going really, really well. I think this is an absolutely amazing way to deploy Pterodactyl. I hope you guys agree with me. If you do, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. For the people that do, I request you guys like and subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends about it and what we're doing here, because I love doing this work. I love learning new things like this, even for stuff that I wasn't using before. And if you really want to thank me, please buy me a coffee.